Hey everyone. So, a big problem I used to face is I would want to mess around in Ableton, but I wouldn't necessarily want to make music. Or I'd have a bit of time to myself where I felt like I should be making music, but I didn't have that creative spark, so I wasn't in the songwriting mood. I found a little trick that did two things. It filled that time in a productive way, and it more often than not led to me being in a creative mood. So I thought I'd share that right here. So this is my browser in Ableton. And you can see here I have two colors. I have Insta presets and audio presets. So these are a collection of presets I've made myself, as well as a few of the already existing ones. So alto sax obviously exists. Amazing Bottle, all in caps, is made by me. And what these are, I'll just load up like synth guitar here so you can see. They're just presets I've made. And these are brilliant. So if I go to audio presets and let's say I want some like warm fuzz. I can do this and I don't have to mess around making my own, like customizing again. Now obviously these are just starting off points as well for a lot of tracks. But I might walk you through some of the processes I use to make them, and maybe it'll be a cool video. So let's jump in. So first thing I'm going to do is just start with a sine wave. I've got my push down here that's playing these notes. And then I just like to add some random audio effects. So our sine wave is one sine wave, so why don't we add some distortion through pedal. And normally what I'll do for this kind of process is I'll just make the sound and then resample that and then use a sampler or something like that. So maybe let's add, oh, I don't know. Let's go wild and add a reverb before this. So I'm probably going to go a bit further with this. Let's maybe add a filter delay afterwards. Just bring these times up a bit. Let's maybe speed our project up a bit. So I'm just going to resample this and then load that into a sampler and see what I can do with it. So the easiest way to resample, in my opinion, in Ableton is just go to an audio track and choose resampling. And then once we're confident we've like gone past the end of that, we can go delete the original. If we look here, we have our new waveform. So I'm going to load up a sampler track. By default, I have it so when a MIDI opens, when I make a new MIDI track, it has sampler preloaded, just because I use sampler a lot. So I'm just going to go to where the delayed note starts. We don't have to be too precise here because I like to just go and add a very small bit of attack. So that's something like actually quite interesting if we had a bit of actual reverb here to it. I find a lot of these sounds where you start them quite high pitched sound good lower pitched, so. And I'm sure actually if we load up an arpeggiator, this could sound really cool as like a high pitched LARP. And why don't we make this into an actual clip? Why don't we make this little preset have the arpeggiator built in by default? So maybe to work along with that, we'll add an auto filter. And we'll set this to 16th notes, sure. Maybe quarter notes. So you could just something with auto filter. We could add like another reverb through like the hybrid reverb plugin here. And you can see I started with just a sine wave and then with a bit of audio effects and now an arpeggiator with some reverb and delay, and that's nothing truly original. And you could accomplish something like this very easily in like Iris or a few other things, but the advantage with using all Ableton stock effects is our CPU usage like barely takes a hit, because all these things are meant to be used for live performance. So let's try something else. So I'm actually just going to come and delete all this. And we'll work with audio this time. So in preparation of that, I found this. It's technically advertised as like a clip-on tuner that you can then plug into your tuner pedal, but it's realistically, it's like a contact mic. It's just a piezo. I have off-frame lighting this whole scene, a lamp that's like desk-mounted with springs. So I thought I'd click this onto the lamp, rattle them springs, and see what it sounds like. So we have audio coming through. So just should probably set my tempo back to something reasonable. But here is just that little clip, and it's nothing special at all, and I'm just going to straight upload this into a sampler. And let's normalize the volume there. It's definitely more percussive than it is pitched. Now, I made a video quite a few years ago that I really should put more effort into, and I'll probably remake at some point. But it's essentially a way of making new sounds using just sampler. So the idea is you set your sustain mode to be continuous, so it's going to keep looping. And you press link, so your start and end points are just the same as the loop. And it's just going to repeat this whole pattern back. Then you can go. So we're essentially just looping this very small section of the waveform. I'm going to bring up the gain. And that's nothing special on its own, but in sampler you can just do some really cool things. So we'll add a little bit of attack. In fact, you could add a lot of attack. Just off the bat, that sounds like an old kind of like horn from like a Sega Genesis game. I'm just going to add a few milliseconds, and what that does is it's just, you can see where our sample starts. It's not directly on the atmospheric pressure line, so you're going to hear a pop and a crack every so often. That just eliminates that. And I'm going to come to glide and a little bit of glide. That bit of delay is really throwing me, but essentially that could be kind of cool. We can add a filter envelope as well. This is all still just using sampler. And that's pretty close to what my synth guitar sound was actually. It was just me playing a bass string with all this kind of stuff on it. The only thing is that you have to then tune this. So if I put a tuner on and I go back to sample, you'll see apparently we're playing C3, but if I come here and play C3, we're actually playing an A. So let's move that to A. Probably should move it down to A2 actually, just so I could. And it might be 1 or 2 cents off. If it was more like a sustained note, we'd be able to like really go in and fine tune that. I probably still could, but like. Let's go real heavy on the distortion. So I'm going to load up pedal, load up amp, and I'm going to load up cabinet. So this is just the default plugins. Nothing great. I'm going to go into pedal, add sub, and go to fuzz. That's the same note. Octave below that. So you might turn off the glide. Just for now. And then obviously we're going to set our amp to like bass. But we could also go like boost, blues rather. The delay is really throwing me. Let's actually draw in something. And make it not so fast, so we're like. I'm going to do a thing I was told not to do while I'm teaching and while I was a student presenting, is talking over the music. So I'm going to try not to do that. That's a pretty cool like sound just made from a contact mic clipped onto a lamp. That's arguably cheating, what I did there. It's no different than dragging it into Wavetable in my opinion. We could record something melodic. Do I have anything melodic in here? I definitely wasn't like hitting any like proper notes, and it's very low in terms of volume, but that's something we can fix. So we'll load up sampler again. And you can use simpler for this too, it's just I much prefer sampler. So there is my beautiful So I wonder if we could actually use sustain for what it's most likely meant for here. Maybe we're best to... So just because I have lag, what I'm going to do is have that C#4 plate. Maybe for a bit longer. Let's add some effects. So one thing that I find really makes everything kind of interesting is just adding a bunch of OTT. Like, let's add a redux. That's cool. I think that's the actual like train of compressors switching off. That's cool though. Let's resample that. So I'm just going to make a new audio track, change that to resampling. If you're really pedantic, you can change the name of that there, so then your clip is like renamed. In fact, we'll do that. We'll call this robot voice. To really speed up the project. Do that now. Oh, I realize that's going to actually change. Okay, so we got like 3 of them, and what I think would be kind of cool is we're actually just going to loop this. Instead of resonator. Let's add very simple drums to this. So this one, sure. And I'm just gonna come in here, come off scale, and we'll go kick for 99 beats per minute. So that's a very like. If anyone watching this knows any better audio routing options, I've tried OBS, and I've not had much luck because I want to monitor with like real little latency. I'm using SoundCloud at the moment, which I've usually had no issues with, but just recently, if I try and not have like a noticeable delay, it just crashes. If it doesn't crash, it like deletes the audio input and output for a second, then Ableton stops working, and it's a right mess. So looks like some of these sound like I'm not familiar with this kit. Oh, it's better snare. Maybe like the delay's not helping at all, because like I'm looking at the drums, I'm like, oh yeah, on that beat, and it's like not where I'm thinking it's going to be at all. So we'll keep it fairly simple. And that's just me humming into a contact mic, going through a bit crusher, a bunch of like whatever, and then that. And that's not really making it into a preset, actually. That kind of covers more the second aspect, where like you get inspired by something and then take it further. If we actually want to make a preset, let's try that. So just looking at items on the desk, I have my Leap card here. It's like an Oyster card, but for Ireland. And I'm thinking I can clip. I could use the contact mic to like clip it to the desk, and then try and. I think that'll work. So, just gonna. Get a bunch of different samples there. I think most of them clipped, but like that might actually work for us. So I'm just gonna turn off monitoring. Let's load one of these up into Sampler. Yeah, they all clip like mad. That's just cool as it is, you know? And also not everyone has a contact mic, but like this was, I don't know, €10. And you could just record that with a regular mic anyway. Yeah, that delay's tripping me. Okay, tuner. So it looks like we're playing an A, probably an H2. I mean, it's probably an A1, but like, yeah, actually that is quite a good one. And then we're like quite a few cents down. Okay. What I'm going to do here is actually just draw in a melody because I can't play with this delay. I'm just going to duplicate that across and then maybe shift that light down. So let's see what this sounds like. So we don't need that tuner on there now, that's just taking up resources. I just make sure I'm starting at pretty much the start of this transient. But again, I'm going to add a very gradual bit of attack. Add a bit of a filter envelope there just to kind of like enunciate the actual input. But maybe we don't want that actually if we're making more of like an actual something I can play on the push. So for those that don't know, the push has 8 rotary encoders at the top, and they would typically control different aspects of a plugin. So if I go and add echo onto this, I can change like the I don't know, the feedback. All with the push. So I quite like if I'm playing a preset for me to be able to control bits of it using the push. So auto filter might be a cool filter. I'm just thinking in terms of what we actually might want on this. So I might want a filter, I might want a compressor, I might want a reverb. I kind of prefer just use buses for reverb, but I might want a reverb. And maybe a distortion before that, and then perhaps, oh, I don't know. We'll stick with these. So I'm probably just going to use auto filter as an actual filter. Compressor, I'm just going to like compress quite a bit of it. Got a low end coming through. So I'm just using the filter and sampler to take care of that. So the main things we were messing with there is the frequency on our filter. I was looking at the ratio and the attack on our compressor. I was looking at the gain on our pedal and the dry wet and reverb time. So let's go and add these to a group. So it's real easy. You either Control A, Command A, select everything in the group, and then Command G to actually turn that into an audio effects rec. No, I can press map. And then I want to do filter frequency, so I'll click that and then I can click map. I'll want ratio, so map that. I also want like I don't know, threshold, so I'll map that. Then I want gain, that, and then I want decay time, so I will map that, and maybe dry wet, so I'll map that. That's me done. So now on the push, I can come here to my instrument rec. And I can go haywire with it. And there's also an option to go random, which is really cool actually. So you can see our frequency is 35 Hz there, so we're not going to get anything. And then if you want to save this as an actual effects preset, you can just rename it. So I'm going to call this card pluck. It sounds like a pluck and I made it with a card. And then you just go to say, nope. You just press this little save icon and it saves it there. And what I like to do is I like to use these groups, so I like to right click and change it to my audio instrument presets so I can find it. So if you find this kind of thing useful, I really hope you did. I've been planning a bit of an Ableton course in my head now for a while, so I think I'm going to try and do something like that over the coming months or whenever. But yeah, I hope it's helpful. It's just a little thing for me that has helped me make new presets that I can then use in a track whenever I want. And more often than not, just actually making these turns something into a creative idea. And again, if anyone has any better audio monitoring tips for Mac, that'd be great. I know I have this little handy recorder, so I could record from like my headphone out through this and then monitor through this. But then that adds a third thing to sync in post, because I've got the screen recording, the audio, and then my camera. So I'd much rather just sync the screen recording with all the sound from Ableton and then my camera. But yeah, if you enjoyed this kind of thing, be sure to give it a subscribe and a like so I know you liked it. Trying to do a video a week, every week of 2023. So I don't know how this is going to fit into that. This kind of might be its own separate thing, as will that Ableton course if I end up making it. Yeah, cheers.